In a colder time of year scene, ice reapers use saws and snares to cut blocks of ice from a lake, reciting as they work about how ice is a strong power that is both wonderful and perilous. Frozen heart. They load the ice blocks onto their sled and head out. A youthful 8-year-old kid named Kristoff, Jonathan Groff, works close by them, not skillfully, joined by his reindeer Sven, sounds, likewise Jonathan Groff. They attempt to impersonate the ice collectors with a solitary cubical block of ice and a little youngster's sled, and follow them away as aurora borealis fill the night sky. The camera follows aurora borealis through the sky, prior to panning down on a fight palace, situated on the shores of a Scandinavian fjord, ringed in by precipices. That evening, Princess Elsa of Arendelle, Eva Bella, is sleeping soundly when her 5-year-old sister Princess Anna, Livy Stubbenrock, attempts to awaken her, needing Elsa to play with her. Elsa energetically dismisses Anna until Anna inquires, "Do you want to fabricate a snowman?" to which Elsa superbly concurs. Completely alert, the two sisters run down the stairs to the assembly hall. At Anna's encouraging, Elsa waves her hands, conjuring up a snow-precious stone, which she then shoots out of sight. It detonates, pouring snow down on them. To upgrade the colder time of year jungle gym, she then, at that point, steps her foot, covering the whole floor with ice. They make a snowman that she epithets Olaf, who likes warm embraces. The young ladies play happily with Olaf until Anna takes a jump Elsa wasn't ready for, and the impact of force intended to make a heap of snow hits Anna in the head, taking her out and turning a few strands of her hair white. Their folks, Lord Agder and Sovereign Iden, rush in, answering Elsa's cries of misery. They beware of Anna and track down her cold to the touch. Agder and his better half quickly load the two young ladies onto their ponies and ride at maximum speed into the mountains. As the regal family jogs through the woodlands at maximum speed, they pass by Kristoff, who is as yet being delayed his sled by Sven. He becomes inquisitive about the way that one of the ponies is abandoning a path of ice, around midsummer. Kristoff and Sven follow the ice trail to a vacant clearing that appears to just be populated by an enormous combination of greenery-covered rocks. From the edge of the clearing, Kristoff looks as Agder requests that the still rocks help him. Seconds after the fact, every one of the rocks roll into an enormous circle around Agder, Iden, Elsa, and the oblivious Anna. The stones uncurl, uncovering themselves to be savages. The stone Kristoff and Sven are watching the occasion from behind is another stone savage named Bulda, who quickly chooses to embrace the guests after Sven licks her. Great Pabby, Kieran Hines, the head of the savages, appears and inquires as to whether Elsa was conceived or reviled with her capacities. He sees that Anna is fortunate she was hit in the head, as a hit to the heart would have been lethal. He exhorts the family that it very well may be ideal on the off chance that Elsa doesn't utilize her powers around Anna. He changes Anna's recollections so she has no information on her sister's abilities, recalling just the tomfoolery they've had. For example, Anna will recollect her indoor palace ice arena as a commonplace winter day. Excellent Pabby cautions Elsa that her powers will develop, and in spite of the fact that they are lovely, they will be an extraordinary gamble to her in the event that she can't figure out how to control them, as dread will be her most noteworthy foe. So Agder and Iden go to lengths into their own hands in light of everything that amazing Pabby has said to them. The castle is shut to most guests. Staffing is diminished to a base. Anna and Elsa are isolated, and having no memory of what has happened, Anna can't grasp the reason why Elsa isn't permitted to play with her. She frequently comes to Elsa's shut entryway and attempts to persuade her out by inquiring as to whether she needs to fabricate a snowman. "Would you like to construct a snowman?" As a further safety measure, the sisters are likewise held back from leaving the palace. While Anna's life is dull however ordinary, Elsa's powers develop further as she develops. Her dad alerts her to wear gloves to hold her frosty sorcery under tight restraints, and to hide her sentiments, on the grounds areas of strength for that appear to make her powers manifest surprisingly. A decade after the mishap, the now teenaged princesses become vagrants when their folks' boat overturns in a tempest, suffocating them. After the internment, Anna goes again to Elsa's entryway, arguing for comfort from her last relative. Be that as it may, Elsa, however she sits unfortunately on the opposite side of the entryway, won't speak with Anna. After 3 years. Elsa, presently voiced by Idina Menzel, is currently 21 years of age, grows up, and the palace plans to crown her as the realm's sovereign. Dignitaries from around Europe are dropping by, including the Duke of Wesselton, Alan Tudyk, who needs to run Arendelle's benefits dry. Elsa is apprehensive about arising out of her disconnection and getting the numerous visitors. At the point when Elsa provides the request to open the palace doors, Anna, presently voiced by Kristen Ringer, anxiously surges out into the city, without precedent for a really long time. As Anna walks around onto the roads, she collides with a pony having a place with an enchanting and attractive guest, and falls into a skiff. The guest apologizes and presents himself as Sovereign Hans of the Southern Isles, Santino Fontana, around for Elsa's crowning liturgy. However, Anna is enraged at first by Hans' ungainliness, after unintentionally falling on top of her in the paddle boat because of said dinghy wavering on a harbor and being adjusted exclusively by a leg from Hans' pony. She appears to be stricken by him once she has a genuine decent glance at him. Anna runs off when she hears the congregation ringers. Elsa stays apprehensive during the crowning ritual service. The priest, Robert Pine, needs to remind her to eliminate her gloves before she takes up her brilliant circle and staff. Holding them, she goes to confront the assembly, yet very quickly overreacts when she sees the gold of the sphere beginning to ice, while the priest is presenting her position to her. She returns the sphere and staff quickly to the priest and returns her gloves on. At the crowning liturgy, 2 or after 3 hours, Kai acquaints Elsa and Anna with the group. Anna's first accommodating connection with Elsa in quite a while carries a remarkable magnificent inclination to Anna, bothered from the beginning, as well as seeing Elsa so blissful rather than serious and safeguarded supports Anna's certainty, provoking her to progress forward with the discussion. They're intruded on subsequently by Kai acquainting with them the Duke of Wesselton. The Duke is a joker, to the point that a running gag all through the film is individuals referring to his home spot as Weasel Town, yet a significant exchanging accomplice. Elsa graciously declines his proposal to hit the dance floor with her, yet rather energetically chips in Anna, much to the Duke's enjoyment regardless, and the two head off into a hilarious dance scene. Elsa can't avoid laughing seeing Anna get honestly bothered by the Duke's beyond ridiculous and extraordinarily horrible moving abilities. This makes Anna have a similarly as capricious outlook on the whole matter, for seeing Elsa in such a state hasn't been a sight for a really long time. Anna returns close by subsequently, remarking on how well things have been going as the day progressed, and communicates her desires to have things how they were that evening constantly. Elsa concurs, however her grin rapidly disappears as recollections of the night she froze Anna's head come drifting back to the surface, and she hesitantly denies Anna's desires at the same time in spite of neglecting to make sense of why so. Anna then takes to the floor with Hans. Both of them rapidly sneak off to go through the night together, rapidly understanding the shared fascination between them. The heartfelt dance in the long run prompts a whole date. Love is an entryway, with the whole evening of the youthful couple being spent holding. Hans, during their time together, learns of Anna's yearning of having somebody extraordinary in her life, with her sister clearly fostering an aversion of being around her by out of nowhere closing Anna out one day when they were kids. Hans transparently connects with this, just promoting Anna's association with him. Hans then, at that point, vows to never close Anna out, not at all, like Elsa, much to the princess' outright bliss. Toward the finish of their visit all through the realm, Hans proposes right on the spot, to which Anna quickly acknowledges. The two head back the dance hall, where Anna requests Elsa's approval on the marriage. Elsa's confused by the stunning news, however Anna and Hans couldn't show up more invigorated, proceeding to meander aimlessly about the wedding courses of action. Elsa stops the unexpected meandering aimlessly by denying them a marriage permit, sadly. Elsa requests to address Anna alone in private, liable to at last admit her capacities and why it's not savvy to wed somebody she just met without creating a situation that would uncover her powers, yet Anna rejects any confidential discussion, expressing anything Elsa needs to say can be told both her and Hans. Elsa, becoming eager and baffled, through and through won't allow Anna to wed somebody she recently met, by implication telling Anna she doesn't know anything about genuine affection. This makes Anna murmur back, let Elsa know all she knows is the manner by which to close individuals out. In spite of the fact that Elsa is noticeably wounded by this, she keeps on denying, with the contention possibly deteriorating when she arranges the gatekeepers to end the party early and close the doors. Incapable to contain her feelings, Elsa makes a brutal breath with her left arm, making a hindrance of sharp icicles unexpectedly show up around her. Stunned at the room's response to her powers, Elsa surges from the room. Overreacting, Elsa escapes with Anna close behind. As she darts out the entryway, she finds a tremendous group hanging tight for her in the yard. She hurriedly races through as men commend her. A concerned lady inquires as to whether she's okay. She is scared enough that she maneuvers into a fancy wellspring and freezes it strong when she gets it with her left hand. The Duke of Wesselton comes out similar entryway minutes after the fact. Elsa argues for individuals to step back, minutes before one more electrical jolt shoots from her hands, almost raising a ruckus around town and his watchmen. She wards running across the waters of the fjord, her feet framing an ice span, and disappears into the woods on the opposite side of the fjord. Anna shouts toward her sister, however, as she, Hans, and different visitors watch, the waters of the fjord totally ice over and the air takes on a cold chill. Minutes after the fact, snow starts to fall. The Duke of Wesselton starts to overreact, proclaiming they should make a move and shut down Elsa's revival. Anna, notwithstanding, denies and volunteers to search out Elsa herself and make things right, feeling that it's her problem for pushing her. With Hans being left responsible for the realm, Anna sets out on pony to start her quest for Elsa. In the interim, Elsa has tracked down her direction to a high cliff on the North Mountain, numerous miles from development. It is here she understands that distant from what she was instructed, being all alone, she can start to control her powers, let it go. She develops an intricate ice royal residence, changes her binding closet into a shining dress, and promises to remain in withdrawal, where she believes she can act naturally and hurt no other person. The following morning, Anna is seen voyaging gradually through near-profound snow riding a horse. Her process is ruined when her pony is scared by falling snow and runs off. She is compelled to use whatever is left of the day walking through near-profound snow, meanwhile grumbling that she wishes Elsa been able to cover the fjords in a tropical heaven. She murmurs with help after seeing a structure with smoke coming from a stack. All of a sudden, Anna slips and falls into a super cold river, which freezes her dress solid. She stunts the remainder of the way to the lodge with the smokestack, a spot known as Meandering Oaken's General Store and Sauna, run by its beefy proprietor, Oaken, Chris Williams. Anna rapidly lurches into Oaken's store. He doesn't have a lot of winter gear in stock. It should be the slow time of year, beside one set of boots and a solitary lady's mink coat. Anna asks, assuming that Elsa has visited as of late, however Oaken tells her that she's the main individual insane enough to be out in a tempest like this. As though on sign, Kristoff lurches in out of the tempest, looking to get some rope, a hatchet, and carrots for Sven. Oaken can't resist the urge to see that Kristoff is packaged up firmly. Kristoff answers that there's a genuine howler happening up on the North Mountain. As Anna hangs tight for Oaken to return his thoughtfulness regarding her, Kristoff contends with Oaken over the incredible cost gouging on the things he wants, because of Oaken guaranteeing that there's a market interest issue since Kristoff is purchasing from the nearly exposed racks of the colder time of year division, which closes with Oaken generally tossing Kristoff out into the snow after Kristoff wrongly calls him a lawbreaker. Kristoff and Sven take shelter in a stable on Oaken's property, yet are before long met by Anna, who has purchased Kristoff's provisions for him, on condition he take her up the North Mountain right away. Kristoff in the long run concurs. Anna and Kristoff set off into the night with Sven driving. As the conversation goes to Elsa, Anna clarifies about her hurricane commitment for Hans. Kristoff is distrustful at Anna's imprudence in getting connected with somebody she recently met that day, to the point that he tests her about Hans to perceive how little she truly is familiar with him. Their discussion is intruded on when the sled is trapped by a bunch of wolves. Kristoff is at first hesitant to allow Anna to help him, yet Anna ends up being valuable and figures out how to take out a couple of the wolves without help from anyone else. There is a snapshot of frenzy when the two see a vast gorge up ahead. Kristoff speedily tosses Anna onto Sven's back, then, at that point, similarly as they arrive at the precipice, he utilizes his blade to cut Sven's saddle. Anna and Sven effectively clear the abyss, and Kristoff does, scarcely, yet his sled tumbles to the lower part of the gorge and detonates. Kristoff is at first upset that his sled is gone, as he'd quite recently taken care of it, however in the wake of contending with Sven, which comprises of Kristoff talking his own viewpoint in his own voice and afterward conveying Sven's counterargument in a silly voice, chooses to assist Anna with continuing onward, stressed for her security. Anna guarantees she will supplant the sled. Promptly the following morning, Anna and Kristoff enter an iced-over glen. They out of nowhere hear another voice and meet a talking snowman named Olaf, Josh Stray. The presentations don't go without a hitch, as Anna shouts and starts Olaf's head off upon first seeing him. Anna doesn't perceive Olaf until he gives his name and adds, "And I like warm embraces." This runs Anna's recollections, and she constructed him with Elsa when they were youthful. Anna and Kristoff notice that they're searching for Elsa so they can re-establish mid-year, and Olaf out of nowhere develops energized. It's his fantasy to see what summer is like, and he fantasizes about what he believes should do in the late spring in a Busby Berkeley dance number, in summer. Anna and Kristoff decide not to uncover that he will soften in the late spring heat, yet follow him as he drives them to Elsa's ice castle. In the late evening, Anna, Kristoff and Olaf show up at Elsa's ice royal residence. Sven holds up at the lower part of the flight of stairs, paving the way to the front entryways, as his feet can't figure out the frigid advances. In the interim, when they get to the front entryway, Anna advises Kristoff and Olaf to stand by outside. Advance notice them that the last time she acquainted Elsa with a person, she froze everything, making Elsa seem to be an overprotective sister. The crestfallen Olaf and Kristoff stand by outside and begin building up to 60 while Anna heads inside. Inside, Anna is paralyzed at the wonderful inside of the castle and, much more stunned, to see the new ice dress Elsa has summoned for herself. However, Elsa is glad to see Anna and rapidly excuses her for the contention that occurred at the crowning ceremony party. She becomes apprehensive and recommends Anna leave so she can't cause any damage to her. The discussion is immediately hindered when Olaf crashes the gathering, having taken Anna's solicitation of "allow us a moment" plainly. Elsa is amazed to find that her powers incorporate the capacity to evoke living snowmen. It just so happens, Elsa is shocked to discover that her whole realm is frozen, and Anna is amazed thusly to discover that Elsa doesn't have the foggiest idea how to stop it. Be that as it may, Anna demands her sister's powers are not a great explanation for why they ought to be so far off. Nonetheless, having seen Olaf, Elsa streaks back to coincidentally hitting Anna in the head with her snow capacities and develops frightened, requesting Anna leave. Elsa retreats to the upper piece of the royal residence, and Anna follows her, begging her sister that they can take care of this issue together, without precedent for a really long time. Reprise. Be that as it may, Anna's promising to remain by her sister's side and help her. Elsa just develops more upset and anxious, bringing about her sorcery erupting. Elsa, in urgency to get her sister to somewhere safe, makes a monster snow animal, that Olaf calls Marshmallow, to toss them out. Marshmallow stores Anna, Kristoff and Olaf on the front, strides outside the Ice Royal residence. However, he at first lets them be. Anna is irritated and rapidly tosses a snowball at him. Marshmallow is incited, and pursues Anna and Kristoff into the forest. Marshmallow figures out how to corner them at the edge of a precipice. However, Kristoff quickly starts digging a snow anchor by utilizing a rope to direct himself and Anna down the mountain to somewhere safe securely. Marshmallow, notwithstanding, makes up for lost time to them. However, Olaf attempts to stop him, to entertainingly little achievement. Marshmallow, irritated, kicks Olaf over the bluff, and proceeds with his pursuit for Anna and Kristoff. He pulls them up to his face by the rope, and shouts at them, "Don't return." Anna then, at that point, snatches Kristoff's blade and cuts the rope. This sends the team into drop, onto a 20-foot heap of new snow. With his central goal, to drive them away complete, Marshmallow gets back to the ice castle. As they recuperate from the arrival, Kristoff sees that Anna's hair has begun to become white. Unfortunate that she might be harmed, Kristoff takes her to his family, who end up being a gathering of rock savages, the very ones that saved Anna numerous prior years. Kristoff makes sense of that as he had no family early in life. The savages took him and Sven in. The savages are thrilled to meet Anna, and at first they enthusiastically accept that she is Kristoff's consistent sweetheart, so they attempt to wed them in a dance number project, and nearly help the entire way through the promises prior to being come by the unintentional members, and Anna swoons. Notwithstanding, he lets them know that she is harmed and needs their help. Similarly, as quite a while back, terrific Pabby approaches and looks at Anna, yet presumes that this time her sister's powers struck her in the heart. Pabby can't save her. Anna's heart has started to freeze. Fabulous Pabby says a demonstration of genuine romance can defrost a frozen heart. Anna falls once more and her hair becomes more white. She feebly tells Kristoff that Hans can without a doubt help, and they take off for Arendelle. In the meantime, in the city, Hans has been giving safe house and help to Arendelle's kin. At the point when Anna's pony returns, riderless, Hans requests volunteers to go along with him in bringing Anna back. The Duke of Wesselton volunteers his two protectors, and furtively advises them to shoot Elsa, assuming that they ought to experience her. The following morning, Hans' party shows up at Elsa's ice palace. Soon after they show up, Hans arranges that no mischief is to come to Elsa. While everybody concurs, the Duke's hooligans discreetly deviate, actually following the Duke's requests to kill her. The second they come sufficiently close, Marshmallow uncovers himself from the type of snow rocks stacked up by the foundation of the steps, and hops directly into fight. The bowmen quickly assault the monster with their bolts, irritating Marshmallow and making his definitive structure be released. Marshmallow can hold a large portion of the watchman off. Hans, nonetheless, ends up being a wild fighter himself, keeping away from every one of Marshmallow's assaults and in the end utilizing his sword to cut the snow beast's leg off and make him lose equilibrium and start tumbling over to a huge crevasse. With Marshmallow injured, Hans starts heading inside Elsa's palace. Marshmallow, nonetheless, doesn't quit any pretense of giving one final swing in endeavor to drag Hans down with him. Marshmallow comes up short and dives down into the gorge underneath, clearly to his demise. While Hans has been fighting Marshmallow, the Duke's two men have figured out how to utilize the interruption to barge up the ice steps and into the palace, where they corner Elsa. In spite of her arguing for them to not shoot, they take shots at her. She rapidly frames walls of ice as safeguards to obstruct their shots. In the end, she has the clean-shaven hooligan stuck to a wall by a few icicles and is very nearly utilizing a mass of ice to push the hairy hooligan off the overhang. Hans and his men appear in the nick of time and Hans argues for her to stop, so she doesn't turn into the beast individuals blame her for being. Elsa settles down a piece at Hans' words, acknowledging what she's doing. The person stuck to the wall, actually conforming to the sets of the Duke, points his crossbow at Elsa's head and gets ready to shoot her. Hans unexpectedly runs over and avoids the bow. The bolt is delivered and stirs things up around town, connecting a frigid crystal fixture to the roof, which starts to fall straight for Elsa's head. Elsa attempts to run, yet the falling light fixture parts and thumps her oblivious. At the point when Elsa awakens, she's once again at the palace in a prison cell, her hands tied and encased in steel gloves. As she glances out over the frozen realm, Hans shows up, telling Elsa that Anna has not returned, and begs her to stop the colder time of year. Elsa claims she can't, and should be given up to hold others back from being hurt. In the interim, Kristoff and Sven show up at the palace. Anna's condition has deteriorated. Kristoff attempts to keep her warm by giving her his cap. A few of the palace staff escort her in, she thinks back as Kristoff and Sven leave. Anna is brought to Hans and lets him know that he needs to kiss her to save her. The palace staff in the room rapidly pass on to give them protection. She makes sense of what occurred and she falls. Hans places Anna in a seat, inclines in as though to kiss her, furthermore, says, "Goodness, Anna, if by some stroke of good luck there was somebody here who cherished you." As Anna sees him in shock, Hans makes sense of that. As the most youthful of 13 siblings, he got no opportunity at guaranteeing his family's lofty position, so he went searching for an illustrious family he could wed into. Incapable to get to Elsa, he made Anna's associate and played on her naivete. He expected to wed her prior to causing some type of mishap for Elsa that would make his way to the lofty position. Nonetheless, given Anna's ongoing condition, he plans to just allow her frozen heart to conquer her, then wound Elsa, finishing the timeless winter. Anna attempts to stop Hans, yet he quenches the fire in the close by chimney prior to securing her in the room. It is then that Anna implodes, her hair, presently totally becomes white. Hans goes to talk with the Duke of Wesselton and a few different dignitaries. He guarantees that Elsa has made Anna stick to death, however before she passed on he and Anna recounted their marital promises. This clearly is sufficient to give him full power to pronounce Elsa at real fault for treachery and sentence her to death. The royal contingents to Elsa's cell, yet are confined when a mass of the cell breakdowns. While they are held up, Elsa freezes her shackles to the point that they break, and afterward gets through the wall to the outside. In the interim, a long way from Arendelle, Kristoff and Sven are traveling away when Sven desires Kristoff to return. Kristoff claims he has compelling reason need to, however as they glance back at Arendelle, a puzzling twirling haze of snow starts to immerse the realm. The two then, at that point, take off towards the developing risk. Olaf has figured out how to track down Anna in the locked room, and seeing her freezing, rapidly gets a fire going in the chimney. Anna makes sense of that Hans wasn't her genuine affection, and that Olaf ought to leave or he'll dissolve. Nonetheless, the little snowman says he won't walk out on her until he finds a demonstration of genuine romance that can save her. As they talk, Olaf reviews how Kristoff accomplished such a great deal to return her once again to save her, when the breeze blows a window open. Olaf goes to close it, yet somewhere out there he sees Kristoff and Sven charging towards them. This gives Anna trust. She understands that they're infatuated, perhaps Kristoff can save her. Olaf helps her up, however in the corridor, ice jumps up to impede their way. Going through a window, the two slide down the palace's lofty rooftops. Anna endeavors to advance across the frigid fjord, with Olaf not far behind. Be that as it may, as the breeze gets, Olaf is blown away, and Anna finds her hands are going to ice and her face is cold. All things considered, she keeps on pushing ahead, calling out Kristoff. In the interim, Hans has found Elsa meandering the ice of the fjord. Believing he's come for her, Elsa advises him to let her be, and deal with Anna. Hans lies, and says that Anna was killed by Elsa's sorcery. The aggravation of this makes Elsa break down, the snow in tears, and in the air, the snowflakes are unexpectedly hanging in quietness. The getting free from the whiteout empowers Kristoff to see Anna, and he hurries to her. However, as Anna glances around, she sees Hans going to wound Elsa. Indeed, even with her own life in question, Anna surges before Hans, impeding the blade. As she does as such, her frozen heart at long last consumes her, transforming her into a sculpture of ice, and breaking Hans' cutting edge. Kristoff and Sven show up seconds after the fact. Seeing Anna went to ice, Elsa separates in tears, embracing her sister. Nobody is certain what to say, when Anna's frigid structure starts to change and acquire variety, and she gets back to business as usual. Anna broke her own spell, saving Elsa was a demonstration of genuine affection. Furthermore, her hair turns around to ordinary and her streak is no more. It is then that Elsa acknowledges what can end the colder time of year, love. Also, with this acknowledgement, she disperses the ice and snow, and summer gets back to the realm. Olaf is found, and before he can dissolve, Elsa makes an interminable snow whirlwind over his head, which allows him to endure the mid-year heat. In the result, Hans is returned to his realm by a French minister, who vow to see he is rebuffed for his endeavored regicide. The Duke is as wild as could be expected and attempts to play the blameless casualty. In any case, recalling that he sent 2 men to kill her, Elsa issues a pronouncement to cut off all exchange with Wesselton. To piss the Duke off considerably further, she advises the courier to refer to his duchy as Weasel Town. In the interim, Anna follows through with her commitment and replaces Kristoff's sled. She additionally lets him know that Elsa has delegated him the palace's true ice deliverer. Kristoff is appreciative to the point that he kisses her. In the event that he asks why a sovereign who can summon ice out of nowhere needs ice conveyances, he hushes up about the inquiry. Having understood her abilities and learning they can be a gift and not a revile, Elsa utilizes them to make a snowy exhibition in the late spring sky. She additionally transforms the palace's patio into an ice arena, where she illuminates Anna that the entryways to the palace won't ever be shut from this point forward. With the city's kin in participation, the sisters skate around the arena, glad that they are at long last together once more. After the credits are finished, we slice back to Elsa's ice castle, where it's uncovered that Marshmallow endured the fall after Hans cut off his leg. Meandering through the unfilled ice castle, he finds the crown that Elsa threw away during Let It Go, and puts it on his head, grinning to himself, and the spikes and teeth on his back rapidly withdraw.